Over the summer, while visiting Great Sand Dunes National Park on a day off with a couple friends from our summer job at Philmont Scout Ranch, we decided to attend a Junior Ranger seminar with about 20 elementary school students. It was just, a little bit of history about the National Park Service and some, fun conservation facts. And I was so proud of myself after sitting through that lecture that I went and bought myself a Junior Ranger vest. And I feel, as a proud Junior Ranger, that it is my civic duty to inform everybody what is happening to the National Park System right now. On October 24th, 2017, the Department of the Interior announced that it would be raising entrance fees to 17 of the flagship national parks to $70 per vehicle, where it was $30 previously. This is because for the 2017 fiscal year, the national budget cut about $1.6 billion in funding for the Department of the Interior from 2016, resulting in about $228 million in cuts for the National Park Service, which also resulted in a little over 1,200 layoffs of national park jobs. And as someone whose dream job is to be a national park ranger, that's a little discouraging. The national parks should be free to everybody. Right now, Teddy Roosevelt and John Muir are rolling over in their graves because this disparity, $70 is a lot of money to enter a national park, something that should be free and was envisioned to be free. The United States of America was the first country to establish a national park system. It was envisioned to be free for everybody, to protect the natural beauty of our country's landscapes. The first national park was Yellowstone in 1872, signed into law by President Ulysses S. Grant. Later founded upon in 1903 when Teddy Roosevelt and John Muir spent a trek in Yosemite together. The national park system came to fruition in 1916 to the thanks of conservationists Stephen Mather, J. Horace McFarland, and Robert Sterling Yard. That is when we first had a united national park system. And then later during World War II under FDR, it came to include national monuments and historical sites such as battlefields. Back in October, in regards to the raising of entrance fees to the flagship parks, 17 of them, including Yosemite, Yellowstone, Grand Canyon, Arcadia, Denali, Zion, Arches, and all the other major parks. Secretary of the Interior Ryan Zink had this to say: "We need to have a vision to look at the future of our parks and take action in order to ensure that our grandkids will have the same, if not better, experience than we have today." That's a wonderful sentiment, but does it really matter if our grandkids cannot afford to go into the park? Jose Gonzalez, founder of Latino Outdoors, had this to say in response to Ryan Zink: "If there isn't always a question or consideration of equitable access to a lot of communities, it's only going to increase the disparity in terms of who is able to access our national parks and public lands. It is not fair to millions of Americans who simply cannot afford $70 to, enter a national park. Everybody should be able to see the Grand Canyon. I've seen it, and my life was changed forever and for the positive. And that's an experience I want everyone in this nation to have." Our national parks provide the opportunity to get outdoors, to experience wilderness as it was meant to be enjoyed. The national parks have a policy of no human interference. There needs to be a way for kids who live in urban areas to get outside and experience the national parks. In 1903, Teddy Roosevelt and John Muir went on a trek in Yosemite. And in a letter from Teddy to John regarding Yosemite, he had this to say: "I want to drop politics absolutely for 4 days and just be out in the open with you. This is one of the reasons why Theodore Roosevelt is my favorite president, as well as a slew of other reasons. But maybe if our government, maybe if our senators, our representatives, and our president could spend 4 days, even less, out in Yosemite or Yellowstone, maybe it would have a positive impact on our policies today. And this is why I believe that all national parks, as well as all historic sites and national monuments, should be funded by the government so they are free for all.